Uno, dos, 1, 2, 3, 4. ¡Eh! ¡Pule, pule! Watch it now, watch it. Bien, John, bien, John.
Pie Day. Mm-hmm. Who cares? Why do nerds?
I do. I like pie.
It's not. That's the wrong kind of pie.
But I like baked goods.
That's the wrong kind of pie.
But that's what people are celebrating it for, I feel like.
Okay. All right. We got two different. Okay. All right. All right. It's two different things. Okay. All right.
I mean, yeah, the number is cool.
It's two different things.
But people eat pie on Pie Day now.
You're not a nerd. And so for
Excuse
you...
me?
I'm sorry, what?
Did you just tell me I'm not a nerd?
This isn't gatekeeping. You can enjoy...
Yeah, it is.
You can enjoy having watched every episode of Star Trek Enterprise and not be a nerd. A nerd is somebody who, in addition to their interests, has a real... is not going to... This is not our kind of guy. Do you know what I mean? Like, this person is going to have trouble fitting into society. If you had never met Star Trek Enterprise, you would be just fine. In fact, you'd probably be better off. That's what I'm saying. Because to you, it's not...
your definition.
How many digits of pi have you memorized? Other than
not a
0.
lot.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm just saying there are people... Yeah, well, that's what you need to calculate the circumference of a circle. That's true.
Something.
Oh, wow, you're doing great. So, those are all wrong, by the way.
Not 3.14.
No. What I'm saying is there are people who, those are my people. Mm-hmm. The people
so you're a nerd, and I'm not.
I don't know why it's not okay for me.
Because you know pie and I don't.
To spare you from being a nerd.
Because I am a nerd.
And you wear those glasses, but you're just trying, that's your disguise. Superwoman puts on her glasses and becomes Superwoman, as far as you're concerned.
Sure.
I'm just saying that there are people who are nerds who think it's about, 3.14.
The number.
And then there are other people who are like, cherry? Or is it blueberry?
I feel like that's become really popular, though, in the last couple of days or years. And I
Get
feel
your
like that's
own day.
overshadowed.
Pastry that's served with ice cream?
Wow. Give me pie any day. I will take pie any day.
Plus, it doesn't even make sense that it's pi and pi, the Greek letter, have nothing to do with each other. So you're eating pie on a day that's about celebrating math because it's 3:14.
Yep, but you cut the pie into pie pieces, which is fractions. So, I'm just trying to make it.
Where are the Quiz Bowl tournaments of my youth?
I just want to cut a dry answer.
I'm saying, this pie is a shepherd's pie. We're throwing everything into this.
Okay.
And everybody can come in.
All right.
There, that's my anti-acceptance screed at the beginning of the show. What a great way to start.
That's a great way to start.
I'm just saying that I just don't...
Pie for everyone. Look, I say the more
suffered.
the merrier.
I was a nerd. You know the dates I didn't go on?
Nerds. I was a nerd.
Oh, please.
Yes, I was. I definitely was.
Yeah? Well, I'm okay. But
you are gatekeeping.
Social anxiety is not intellectualism.
I liked anime. I liked comics. I liked
what
nerdy
comics?
things.
Don't you mean manga of the characters from your anime? The way you said it?
Yeah, like manga and anime, and I liked Batman. I liked a lot of nerdy things.
What Batman did you like? This is great. Are you going to buy those comics? By the way, we're doing a sketch right now. I'm the owner of a comic store. Worst Batman ever.
You are being such a jerk.
You liked who's your favorite Batman movie character? Grace, the psychiatrist from Batman Forever. Is that her name? Seems like a good guess.
I don't know.
Nicole Kidman's character, Dr. Robinson.
I liked Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman.
Yeah, well, everybody did. She's great.
Yeah, I know. She cracked that on her whip herself.
It's a weird movie.
It is a weird movie. I know that now.
All right, the sketch is... Wow, what a great sketch. That's too good for SNL.
I have fond memories of doing Easy Bake Oven and watching that movie.
Wouldn't you argue, though, that Hollywood just serves everything? All the people that you're munching popcorn next to you when you're watching Avengers Infinity War, they're not nerds. It's the same thing that happened when
I don't
Just
wanna
let me
be-
do this. Just let me do this. I
Just
never
let you
do this.
gatekeep?
I let everybody in. But for some reason today, some atavistic strain has come out of me. It reminds me of when Xbox, when Halo 2 came out. Suddenly, Halo was for dudes. And so everybody, you wait in line to get Halo 2, and everybody's got three t-shirts on and a ball cap backwards, and they're chugging dude, and you're like, wait a minute, what? This is supposed to be this is for nerds.
Yeah, well.
I earned this.
Uh-huh.
With all those games of XCOM on Windows PC.
Sure. Yeah, but I don't think that makes you, you get a gold star and everybody doesn't.
Now your cool friend who wears flannel shirts all the time is like, yeah, I got about 320 hours in Animal Crossing. Yeah, I'm a gamer.
You leave people alone, okay? I
this
don't want you to
Here's why this
gatekeep.
isn't fun. Because the devil showed up to advocate and the court's empty. And you're just the janitor. You're just mopping the floor. And I'm like, the thing about mopping is...
You're right. I don't want to play. I want to throw
you just woke up from a nap.
Game
you're not
overboard. I want to.
You're not ready to play.
I want to. I'm not playing Candyland. I'm done.
You just woke up out of a bathtub. Why is Beth Harmon not dead?
Good question. Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe her 60s dress has an inflatable collar or something like that.
Although I was really glad that we saw a character who accidentally hit their head and didn't die.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's a trope that it's I'm so incredibly sick of seeing.
Yeah, because she's a drunk and she's and anybody who's a drunk, will tell you run into things, you fall down, you wake up the next morning, you go, oh, this is my knee or something. Except not always. I had a friend who passed out, hit his leg and collapsed and passed out on his leg.
Oh gosh.
And then woke up.
That sounds painful.
20 hours later, no feeling in his leg because he had been on it the whole night.
Fantastic.
And, almost lost it. Walks with a limp to this day. But that was the.
You are kidding me.
That you know this guy. We're not going to say his name, but and that was for him. That was all right. That's the end of that.
Wow. I've never heard that story before, though.
And even he says it's about math and not pastry. We brought it back. There, we opened the show. Welcome to the Just Enough Trope podcast.
You can't hear me rolling
a
my
podcast hosted at our own behest by Caliban and Caliban's co-host.
Hi, I'm Mikan Hana. Apparently, I am just his co-host.
We're here to... Yeah, you're joined by my co-host, but now I'm speaking to the third person, and so it's... Caliban's co-host.
Okay.
Did you just... Wow. Just what a change in tense can do. And suddenly you're like, wait a minute.
I'm just mad.
Am I the second fiddle here?
I'm just mad. I'm mad you're gatekeeping me and you're telling me that I'm not a nerd.
You wanted to talk about Pi and Pi Day. Mm-hmm. And so I created a scenario that would allow us to talk about Pi Day for 8 minutes. I don't care about Pi Day.
Mm. Okay.
What's your favorite pie?
Oh, that is a really hard question.
Oh my god.
I like pecan pie a lot.
All right, great.
I also like apple pie.
No. We could have got out of this so long ago.
I made key lime pie not that long ago. It's pretty good. I like that. Lots of different kinds of pie. I love pie.
I treat pie like chips, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know that I love disgusting chips that no one should eat.
Yes.
And I'm always looking for. So you go here's your sour cream and onion. I'm like, get that out of my face.
I freaking love sour cream and onion.
I don't want that.
Yeah.
If anything, I would say cheddar and sour cream is my pecan pie.
That's good.
Sour cream and onion is probably my apple pie.
That's good.
And then I don't want anything else. Don't give me anything. I don't care about the salt and vinegar or any of that stuff.
So good.
But much like chips, when I find a dill pickle cheeseburger chip or something like that, and the foreigner the better. If it's got katakana on it, you're in luck.
Mm-hmm.
I want crazy pies. There was a restaurant used to be called Poppin' Fresh. Then it was called Baker Square.
Yes.
And I don't know if it survived in any way, but it's not around anymore.
It's not?
No.
Oh.
I don't think so. And you used to be able to go there and they would, feel like sometimes they would have a case. Speaking of Japan.
Yes,
they would have a case with a bunch of
But it was
real
actual
pies.
pie. It wasn't
And there was like
models.
30
Yeah.
kinds of pie.
Yeah.
And so sometimes you would go in there and it would be like, oh, here's the rhubarb banana or whatever. It's like, oh, serve it up.
You go there for the
'Cause
pie.
I'm
The food
here-
was not really that great.
No, it was big boy
Mm-hmm.
burgers and stuff. But yeah, that's what I want new taste sensations. So give me the mincemeat pie. Give me the chocolate pudding peanut butter cup pie.
Oh, the chocolate peanut butter cup pie that they had there was one of my
Oh,
favorites.
that was a real thing. Okay, I didn't know that. I thought
Oh
I
my
made it
god,
up.
that was one of my
I
favorites.
thought I made that up.
No,
I
it
was
was one of
gonna
my
cut
favorites.
that part out.
They've got really great French silk pie too.
I guess this is more fun than gatekeeping, but still, it doesn't matter. We've talked about
It is
pie.
more fun.
All we need to talk about pie. Instead, we are going to talk about something that we're not actually going to talk about, and that is that our plan was we had it all planned out.
Yep.
There are 2 major releases, insofar as they can be at this time of COVID.
Yeah.
Starring young heartthrob. Stop me if any of this doesn't work.
Continue.
Tom Holland.
I think people will
Somebody
consider
likes
that.
him.
Yeah.
Tom Holland.
Poor guy. Somebody likes
In
him.
a movie that got lost in the shuffle, but gets a second chance. And a movie that was hotly anticipated by the Russo brothers who produced it. But otherwise, I don't think anybody knows about it.
Yeah.
Chaos Walking and Cherry.
Yep.
And we started watching Chaos Walking and was like, I don't think I can do this.
We walked.
Yep. I left my own living room
I left my body.
and that's the
I was like, I'm out of here.
That's the problem, showing movies in cemeteries like they do sometimes. People walking out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we thought, okay, we'll give Cherry a try. We watched Cherry, about the first 5-8 minutes of Cherry. We're like, no, absolutely
I
not.
don't even know if we made it that long.
No.
Because it was started with voiceover.
Started with voiceover.
And then he was talking directly to the
Then
camera.
he turns around and starts talking to the camera. And it's all like
And it's just terrible
edgy,
dialogue.
sad bastard. Yeah. Terrible dialogue, being effed in the heart. I
just
saw that
couldn't
in a
take
comedy
it.
film 2 days ago.
Oh, really?
And then I saw it in a serious film, and it's like, yeah, this is tough. This is it's not quite redneck punk, but it's definitely like, white trash punk.
Yeah.
And which is coming back, I guess, and will never go away.
Oh, great.
And we
Sad
said to
bastard.
ourselves, what if we just jettison the entire thing? Our entire plan for Holland Days.
Such a great title.
Holland Days is canceled.
Yeah.
We're going
I
to do
hate to say it.
mayonnaise instead. No, we're going to do banh mi instead. And so we said to
Yeah.
ourselves,
Wow.
what if we just watched two movies so bad we couldn't finish? What if we watched one of the greatest movies of all time and kind of a revival of the co-videos format?
Yes, because it's a film I'd never seen before. And it was
got to
on my
pick it.
list. Yes.
And it was,
Full Metal Jacket.
which is not one of the greatest movies of all time, but it is a pretty good movie.
But it is something that the people, I think is on people's top, 100 movies of all time lists pretty consistently.
And it has nothing to do with Pi Day. Best I could do
No.
is that because the second part of the movie is set after the Tet Offensive,
Yeah. In Vietnam.
maybe it's once they go out into the jungle to fight in response to the Tet Offensive,
Yeah.
it could be mid-March. That's all I've got.
Yeah. I know.
It's not much.
No. Basically, we're talking about it because guess what we want to? We want to talk about something that's at least ostensibly a good film.
Yeah,
So, I think we deserve it.
I think we do.
Especially after trying to watch 2 arguably terrible films.
I'm worried about Tom Holland.
I am too.
Not really. I mean, he's going to be Spider-Man for a while.
But I worry that okay, so Cherry was produced by the Russo brothers, so I'll give him that. And then the other one, it's got Daisy Ridley and Mads Mikkelsen in it, so it's got big names attached to it. But I worry that, is he good at picking films?
Up, poop. Oh.
No, choosing what films to be in. Because, Peter Parker, no brainer. Heck yeah, I want to be Peter Parker.
But doesn't it show that I don't want to say there's a crack in the edifice, but that the edifice of Marvel is certainly made up of more than just a director or a star or what have you. And you'd think, well, 2 guys direct a pretty funny Ray Romano movie. Was that them? They
think
direct
so.
a bunch of community episodes.
Yeah.
Then they start directing Marvel films.
Yeah.
Which are all pretty good. And it's like they're going to the moon. And then they make that Chris Hemsworth. They didn't direct it, but they produced it. That Chris Hemsworth movie on Netflix. It's fine. I mean, it's not.
I haven't seen it.
It's just a pot boiler actioner.
But it's better than this,
super.
right?
Well, I guess it's also very edgy. They're all about how like, boy, this white man, he's just not happy. He's got problems.
See, maybe that's...
He lives in a society, and so that's
Maybe
okay.
that's part of the problem.
But this is going to tell a story because he was in the army and then he got hurt. He came home and he's got to rob banks because the factory's closed.
Right, life isn't how it used to be.
That's called The Deer Hunter. We should have just watched The Deer Hunter.
Oh, I haven't
watch
seen
Full
that
Metal
either.
Jacket instead.
Yeah. Oh,
The factory closes. They go to Vietnam. Everybody's sad, and they're white dudes in flannel shirts, like your cool friend. So that's what we're doing instead of all of that. You've got one more thing. You got one chance to redeem it before we go to the news. Take it.
One chance to redeem what we're talking
This
about?
terrible opening.
Oh God. This is great. I'm doing well.
Not so much.
I started watching it's a Netflix series, but it's been on for a while, and it's Irish. It's Dairy Girls. And I'm enjoying that. I'm like a little over halfway through the first season. It's only like 6 episodes per season. It's like 2 seasons. Huh. So but it's funny, and it takes place in Ireland in the 90s, and it talks a lot about everything that's going on with the IRA, but it's also like they're
hilarious.
Well, but they're also just teens.
It's like that funny Brad Pitt movie, Devil's Own.
Well, okay. I don't know.
That nonstop laugh fest, The Boxer, starring Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah. Well, but they're also just teens who go to like
I know
a private
90s IRA movies.
Private school.
And Patriot Games.
And like they're dealing with regular teen stuff. And so it kind of like shows that it wasn't just all like being obsessed with the IRA and everything that was going on.
Huh.
Yeah.
All right. Great. Thanks for letting us know.
Oh, yeah.
Since we're making depressing announcements.
Oh my God. Okay.
One of my favorite high school science teachers has passed away.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
At the age of 67, late 60s.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And it's we always do that thing where we're like, oh no, I was Googling Christopher Plummer. Oh no. And I thought because I was thinking about him the other day. Did I kill this guy? And then I realized, absolutely not. I've been thinking about this guy like every week since I left high school.
Are you serious?
Yes. He was such a character and such a kind of just a funny figure, but a really nice guy. And I'm sure that I've told you some of his stories. I may have told them on the show. But he's given me a lot of stories to tell at parties or whatever, that are his stories. But, I can adapt it, just say it's about this other guy. But yeah, he's a traveler. He was a world traveler. He was a science teacher, a nice guy. And he's like this old school. When you think of like a activist or like a leftist person today, you're probably thinking of somebody very young.
Sure.
Probably thinking of somebody who has at least part of their hair is a color that doesn't exist in nature. You're probably thinking of somebody who's not white, but he's like an old school, like hippy dippy granola, like guy.
Activist.
Like my best friend when I was growing up. His parents were, I didn't understand at the time, but they were very different than my parents. Like his dad had a shirt that said, I'm a Marxist. And then it's got like Karl Marx and Groucho and Zeppo. And, I didn't get it. But anyway. But this teacher, though, like he worked for the Peace Corps when he was young.
Very nice.
And this is also where some of his great stories come in because he was very kind of accident prone. He was a very handy guy, and he was a very like woodsy guy. Oh gosh! But things were always happen to him, so we always knew that if we didn't want homework, just get him started. When we get to like 2:40, if we can get him on a story, then the bell's going to ring before we get out of there. And so, the time that he blew his pinky off on a date, I don't know why they were like squirrel hunting on a date, but like I said, he's kind of woodsy, and
Weird.
he had to drive the stick shift himself to the hospital because his date could only drive automatic. Or
Were they able to reattach his pinky?
the time that you know what? No, this is it. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
That's why you can only give 9 hours of homework. I remember because I thought I told the story when Ashley Judd hurt herself in the in the jungle.
Yes, I think
feel
you
like
did.
I told the story because he hurt himself. He crashed his moped in the Peace Corps and then was laid up in a village for like 6 weeks as his clavicle healed or something like that.
Yeah, I think you were telling us that.
Yeah, and he got like ants in his body cast and stuff like that. And so, but anyway,
Wow.
yeah, just a really nice guy.
It's horrible.
Had a daughter that I did drama and stuff with
okay, cool.
in high school, and she's a great person too. And so, yeah, I don't know the details. I don't know what it was.
I'm
but,
so sorry. That's sad.
Yeah, it's just sad.
Young.
The the teacher community from that from my small town was really close, and my mom was a part of that. So I'm sure they're sending condolences and around the circle and stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't know. They're my stories now.
Oh my goodness.
Let's talk about the news. So Space Jam 2 is real now. I mean, it's been real since
wasn't
Space
before.
Jam 1 made a lot of money, but it's
Yeah.
gone through quite a lot of changes, and we've heard a lot of different things about it. But now that it's got its Entertainment Weekly spread, people are talking about it. And one of the things they're talking about is the fact that Pepe Le Pew won't be appearing in the sequel.
Oh. Okay, I think I can guess why.
Well, this is on the heels of them also guessing why and shooting the live action part of, but canning a scene where Pepe Le Pew is taught about consent by LeBron James.
Why would you can that?
Why would you bother at all? Just cancel the character and let's never talk about it again. And here's what I love in all of this. I'm on board, but I also think like, aren't French people mad? Isn't this like a stereotype of French people?
Yeah.
I guess he's not rude enough.
Whoa.
French people just canceled the show. But yeah, so apparently they shot all the live action parts and then you're just going to draw the stuff in later.
Yeah.
But they're not going to go with it. But then that got out. And I think this is kind of partially a publicity stunt.
Seems
But
like
what's
it,
not
yeah.
a publicity stunt is the actress who you don't know. I don't think she's done anything you'd know, but who's in the scene that he hits on. She's like gone on Twitter and offered a bounty for the footage of the scene. She wants to see the footage of the scene that she shot because this is important for women. It's like it's a movie to sell T-shirts. Who really cares?
Seriously?
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that.
So you've got Warner Brothers realizing it's a problem, but looking for a way to generate content out of it.
Yeah, why would
Then
you
you've got the
advertise
actress
about it?
who apparently is like, involved or is maybe again, it sounds self-serving, doesn't it? She doesn't want her footage to be lost, but she's supposedly concern trolling, to get this out there.
Uh-huh.
Everybody's doing everything for the wrong reason. Oh, also, they're making a Space Jam 2. A series of bad decisions.
Yeah, right. It might as
Unfortunate
well
events.
just be called that.
Yeah.
A series of bad decisions too. No, I mean a series of bad decisions. Yeah.
The Jamiverse.
Yeah. Did we also talk about Layla Bunny from that?
Lola Bunny?
Lola. Why did I call her?
Yeah,
Layla?
let's just group from now on. Every show going forward, we'll have to group all of our Space Jam news together. We'll call it a news jam. And yeah, we're talking about Lola Bunny.
So people are also mad because they designed the character differently, and she now just looks like more of a female,
Like a cartoon character,
yes,
but not like a Tijuana Bible cartoon character.
She doesn't look like a sexy bunny.
Yeah.
Let me put it that way. Not that she can't be sexy. She's just not like overtly sexy. And and people are saying, some people are like, I like the redesign. She looks like a WNBA player. I don't know what that
What?
I don't know.
No, she doesn't.
I don't think she really does either. But maybe they're just commenting on her. She has a uniform that looks like an actual basketball player would wear.
Well, she looks like Buzz.
Bugs.
Buzz Bunny.
Yeah, right.
The biker.
Yeah.
It's less Jessica Rabbit, more Jessica Fletcher.
Yeah, right. I think that's
Who's Jessica Fletcher?
Jessica Fletcher's Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah, but why would it? She's not a septuagenarian.
No, she's not.
I'm going to jam. I never watched
Space.
Murder, She Wrote. I don't know.
Oh, I loved Murder, She Wrote.
Okay.
When I was a kid, I used to watch it all the time.
Yeah, such a nerd. So anyway, that's it. Anything else? Do you have going to spring any Space Jam news on me?
That's all I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
What if I sprang the news that the Queen's Gambit is getting a stage musical on you?
God. What are the songs going to be? And is there going to be did we talk about this before?
Wait, I think we did.
I think we did, because I was
Let's do it again.
Okay, I want to see the scene of the little kid version of her and like the pills
I thought
going
about
everywhere.
that. What you do is you don't have, maybe you can get permission to show like 5 to 10 seconds of the robe, right? But as the song goes on and she's taken more of these pills, you just have cast members come out dressed as
Pills.
why do I bother building anything up? I should just blurt out my ideas like you do. Anyway, there's a character that looks like Jesus.
Yeah.
And a character that looks like Pilate.
Okay.
And for Firminius, Corpupius, the guy that stabbed him with the spear.
Yeah.
And got the robe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They're part of the dance too.
Okay.
Maybe not Jesus. You just hang him up in the back. He'll just be hanging around in the back. I screwed that joke up. Damn it. Anyway. Right? Because it's like surreal.
Yes.
That's the fun thing about it. It's not fun.
No.
This is a child on drugs.
But
all throughout
story.
because we talked about Cheston on the ceiling.
Yes,
right?
yes.
All through the thing, you could have goofy stuff. And woo! It'd be like the scene from Pippin where he's high or whatever. Only like most of the show could be that.
Sure.
Because
Yeah.
this girl is drugged to the gills.
Yeah, and like maybe like there's some sort of duet while she's doing like a chess match or whatever, and they're like thinking about their moves in their head, and except they're singing them or something like that.
Yeah. Or we could also have they could come up with some kind of interesting way for her to hit her head.
Oh my god!
we also talked about the fact that you guys know there's a musical called Chess, right?
I know.
Which I only know the one song that's on the radio.
Yes,
but I bet there's a song where they sing their moves.
Probably.
Speaking of moves, you're gonna have to come up with some moves to have a musical that is distinct from Chess.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Well, whoever's left of the Bee Gees is probably like, okay, all right, you come at the king. You best done this.
Oh, maybe if they're smart, they'll hire them to work on the Queen's Gambit musical. They totally do it. They totally do it. Yeah. They'd be like, "Oh, I'm pissed. What's that? You want me to do it?"
Music groups have
right
no
there.
integrity.
Oh,
that's why it's not a surprise that one of the Mumford sons is a far right sympathizer.
What? Boo! A hiss.
You know about that, right? I don't know anything about Mumford and Sons, and here's what I know about them. They have like banjos, right? Yeah. So you think they'd be like, not actually from the South, but from like Williamsburg, not Virginia, Brooklyn, right?
Sure.
No, they're like British. I didn't know that.
They're British?
Yeah, but anyway, one of them is the wrong kind of British. One of them
Boo, hiss.
likes, Antifa and far-right literature. And so the band has decided to take a hiatus while they think about what's happened.
Okay. Like, so they're going to kick this guy out, or they just don't, they're like, we don't agree with you, so we're just going to take a break?
I don't know. Who's the oldest? Maybe he should decide.
Of the Mumford sons? I don't know. Isn't like Carrie Mulligan, at least for a while there, she was dating one of them.
That's a bad look.
I don't know which one. I don't know if she's still with him or not, but yeah, I feel like I remember that.
Carrie Mulligan's an actress, right?
Yes.
She's a promising young woman, but apparently not young enough for some of the reviewers.
That's stupid.
I mean, it's like she was a promising. It still works.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I don't know anything about them, but I think that it's just like we have to get ahead of what. Okay, so Black Twitter comes up with all the cool phrases, and
this is what I've learned.
And the right names everything, and the left just reacts much too late to
Yep.
everything. We have to start naming things because we would have come up with climate change before global warming if we'd thought about it. We would have come up with consequence culture before cancel culture if we'd been on top of the ball.
Yes.
But we never are.
Nope.
And so
Nope. We're always
that's
late.
why-
We're always like, where are we going? What's going on?
Wait, what is this the right restaurant? Yeah.
Is it daylight savings today?
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening.
Well, I don't know either. I do know that Outlander is getting a 7th season.
Wow.
They are literally going to be like wooden teeth and like a wig that's white to match their white hair.
No kidding.
Like, we're going to do that. How long?
Once
they
gotta catch
slight
up.
spoiler, not just a setting spoiler, not a plot spoiler. Once we established that she could like go back to the present, what's the problem? Why don't they just go back to the present? The second things get hot, they go, let's try to ship back to Calalbraleloch.
Well, I
and
don't
then
know.
we'll just go back home. Why are we doing this? You would love TV dinners, Jamie.
What is
You can
the
get a
rule?
haggis TV dinner.
Like, can Jamie come with them? Like, can they return? Can she return because she's from there?
I don't know. Nobody knows.
Okay.
But
Because if that's the case, then she's going to be with Jamie.
Look, Game recognize that they don't want it to be Doctor Who Game where they just hop in and out all the time. It's not like
No, it's a big ordeal.
Dr. Peabody or something.
Yeah, right.
But it's, yeah, I mean, they're just kind of like, Ronald D. Moore likes period stuff, and so does his wife, who does all the costumes for it.
Yes.
And so she's like, well, honey, what era do you want to do it in this year? But the eras aren't really all that different. I mean, they are, absolutely, but it's kind of the kind of distinction that only like a very talented, knowledgeable historical costumer would understand, because they all just like got corsets to me.
Do you think that they're just following like the books pretty closely? Like, I don't know how
There's a lot of books.
There are a lot of books.
And they're thick books.
Yeah, and I think she's still writing them.
That's a lot of reading it with one hand. Aren't they like a kind of steamy romance novels? A show steamy.
Kind of, yeah.
But now they're just like old people getting it on.
You know,
Take out your teeth. Okay, come on.
So I've recommended that show to people before, and then
How'd that go?
other people were like, "There's so much rape," and I'm like,
There's a lot of rape.
"There is," and I guess.
And the counter is, oh, are you talking about history?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, but do I have to watch it?
yeah, right, and it's like, okay, I guess I should. Whenever I recommend the show, I need to give like a trigger warning and be like, but is it just me, or do I feel like it's still worth? I feel like it's still worth watching, even though this horrible
person
stuff
who
happens.
hasn't finished the 4th season. Anyway,
well.
trigger warning for what we just talked about. Let's talk about Warner Brothers. I guess we already were, because we were talking about Space Jam. The reactions to the Snyder Cut are out. This is social media. Reviewers and outlets have been allowed to express their thoughts, and many positive thoughts about it. But every single one of these pictures is a guy who's so overweight that his, you know how like it's a circle? His face fills the entire circle.
That's horrible.
Of his Avi. And they all think it's great. And then there's a bunch of them that go, this is boring. This is crap. And a lot of those are drawn. So people with artist friends don't like it. People who who love nachos do love it. And I'm torn, because I have a lot of artist friends and I love nachos. So maybe I would be split on the Snyder Cut.
I find that hard to believe.
Maybe my pants would split.
Oh my goodness.
In the Snyder Cut.
Oh my goodness. I don't know how to. I mean, I guess that's kind of what we imagined, right? That some people would love it and some people would be like, this is horrible.
That's where we were before they spent millions of dollars to finish a movie that already failed.
Yes.
Okay, just checking. Speaking of failures, Billy Crudup has left The Flash after he was already in Justice League, the first Justice League, the one that's canon, as Bobby, Barry's dad. He was already in it, and now he has left the film, so he won't be in the film now. But Maribel Verdú, Mexican actress, has come on as the Flash's mom. But that doesn't matter, because the whole point is she's dead, right?
Are they going to do something weird?
Well, they're going to do the Flashpoint thing. So how quick do we get to the Flashpoint thing so she can actually have a role here? I don't know, but you're going to need a Bobby Barry's dad.
Why did he leave? Do we
Exact same
know?
thing twice.
Yeah.
Why would he stay? Why would he stay?
Oh. Okay.
He's Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah. I don't know.
He gets a lot of work. He doesn't need to stick around for this. But
Okay.
it's just this movie, which is, you know, you can't have a
never-
project can't exist for 8 years or whatever it's been.
Well, that's true. How long was
And
he
not lose
signed on
people.
to be this role? Probably
Since just
several
about the
years.
beginning.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
So I guess I can't blame him.
Yeah. So that's not good. What else is going on in the world of Warner Brothers? It looks like HBO Max is slated to hit 120 to 150 million subscribers by 2025.
That's
So
a big
a
range.
while from now, we will have a lot more people subscribed.
Apparently, 120 to 150. I feel like that's a big range.
I
That's weird.
do as well.
Okay. All right. So basically,
They had
what
ini-
I take from that is things are going well.
Well, they had
and-
initially projected 75 million. And so all this
Oh.
really can tell us is that people are subscribing at a higher rate than they thought they were going to.
Well, I mean, I think especially with what the deal that they made with Warner Brothers, or Warner Brothers made with them about releasing all their films in 2021 on HBO Max, I think you're going to get more people to sign up.
Seems like it.
Yeah.
We do know that Disney Plus recently passed 100 million subscribers.
Okay, that doesn't surprise me either. I mean, again, people are home. People are home and people are bored and they're looking for other
home.
things.
You're home.
Yeah.
Did you know that the Powerpuff Girls are going to get a CW live action show? For
Oh.
no good reason.
I thought we talked about that already.
Who are the 3 leads?
Oh, they hadn't been announced yet.
Chloe Bennett, Dove Cameron, and Yana Peralt. You know,
Chloe,
adult women.
wait, Chloe Bennett was the lead
Yes.
in
Yes,
why can't I think of the name?
yes,
The Marvel TV show Shield,
yes,
Agents of Shield.
yes.
Dove, what's her name?
Cameron.
I know that name.
She was a Disney actress. I think she was on The Descendants. That's a Disney show, right?
Sure. And then the last
I don't know.
actress? Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, they're adults.
They are adult women. I don't understand what's happening. I don't know. what the
So
plan
I
is.
guess we're not only are we
Will they
making it
be-
live action.
Will it be Roger Rabbit Space Jam style, where these giant headed monstrosities are they voicing them and they'll be interacting with regular people?
That is terrifying.
Because when you have a late night lab mishap with sugar and spice
And everything nice.
and radium or
Mm-hmm,
whatever, maybe things don't turn out so well. Maybe you have a giant football sized head. Who knows?
I don't know.
Who can say? Looking
I love
forward
the
to it though.
Powderpuff Girls,
Gotta
though,
say,
so
looking forward to
I'm
it.
a little terrified.
The what?
I'm terrified. I loved the show, the animated show. I'm a little terrified.
What'd you love?
Powderpuff Girls.
The Powerpuff Girls?
Uh-huh.
Not the Powderpuff Girls?
Yeah, the Powerpuff
That's
Girls.
you. I love it so much. I can't even call it by its real name. Like, yeah. Well, no, you can't even say the name, can you? Like YWHW. Don't worry about it.
What?
Do you know about Cocaine Bear?
No. What?
You know about Cocaine Bear?
No. I don't know what you're talking about.
Phil Lord and Chris Miller, who I feel like I hear their names a lot,
Yes.
but I feel like I don't always, again, hear about something being completed that their
Yes.
names are announced for.
Yes, I agree. Their names are attached to a lot of things, but we don't necessarily see them.
They are going to make a film based on a true story about a bear getting into a ton of cocaine.
This seems made up. This is a real thing.
It's directed by Elizabeth Banks, somebody else who I hear is doing stuff, but it never crosses my eyes.
Oh my god! What? So this is based on a real story. So is it going to be a CGI bear? Is it going to be a real bear? What is happening?
I don't think you can use real bears anymore. Can you?
That's probably a good thing.
Oh no, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't know the answers to your questions, but I see a Craig Robinson showing up. I see maybe a cameo from Will Ferrell as a park ranger who's torn apart comically. This is one of those. This is like remember when they chained that bomb to that guy's neck and he had to deliver pizzas or he'd blow up.
Yeah.
Remember that happened in
horrible.
real life and he died because he blew up.
Yeah.
Let's make a Jesse Eisenberg movie out of it. That's what this is.
This seems like a terrible idea.
Yeah, but it's like I think it's Sony. Like they just don't. They're out of ideas. They have no ideas.
What do people like? Bears. What else do they
Ghostbusters.
like? Cocaine. Let's put them together.
What if they got? Yeah, they have a wheel. Boy, the wheel really came up with something fun this time.
Yeah.
Cocaine
right.
Bear.
Yeah.
And you can't.
Wow.
They'll try to go like, oh, lost in the snow or something. No, it's going to be Cocaine Bear.
Yeah.
Be like Snakes on a Plane, which was not a good movie,
No.
but it would have made a lot less money if it had been, whatever they, Slithering Danger or whatever they wanted to change it to.
Right.
Before the internet was like, no, it has to be Snakes on a Plane.
Yeah. We know
We're
what
making
this
a deal
is.
here.
Yeah. Exactly. We know what we're getting.
We're
It's on a
pretending to be
package.
excited about this,
Yeah.
so we can say we went to a movie called Snakes on a Plane.
Yeah,
If you break that
exactly.
deal,
Yeah.
we're not going to show
No
up.
dice. Yeah.
DC Comics, I should mention, is celebrating Pride Month with a DC Pride anthology.
Okay.
It will, celebrate characters like Batwoman, Poison Ivy, and Harley Quinn, who are canonically, at least have been in, I don't know if they're still in a relationship.
Yeah. Okay.
Apollo and Midnighter, Alan Scott, the original Green Lantern,
Okay.
came out, I guess, a while ago.
Okay.
Aqualad. I'm just listing gay DC characters.
Yeah. Right.
That's fine.
That's
Anyway,
fine.
there, now you know.
Okay. I mean, that's cool. I think that's a good thing. Do more of that. Like, I don't know. It's
This sounds similar to the Love is Love anthology that was put out a couple years ago
yeah.
when Mark Andreyko was writing Batwoman, and he will actually be doing a forward for this. So,
Oh, there you go.
Mark Andreyko, nice guy, supporter of LGBTQ causes.
Yeah.
God, I wish he was a good writer.
Oh.
Terrible comic book writer. Awful.
Okay,
That kind of
right.
guy is just sort of like, I love to shoot some hoops with him. And he's like, you should check out my comic. Like, I'm going to do it. I'll do that. Not going to do that. Nice guy, though.
Oh.
So anyway, run out and get that or order it
Okay.
for the children.
For the children.
Did we talk about...
For the children.
Did we talk about how there's going to be an HBO documentary on Paul Rubens with the Safdie brothers producing?
What? Tell me who Paul Rubens. Oh, Paul Rubens, Pee-wee's.
I know
Pee-wee's
are,
Playhouse?
but what am I? Yeah,
I don't think we actually talked about that on air.
we're doing it right now.
So what is it going to just canonical his career and like the little bit of trouble that he got into?
No, they're going to violate canon actually and say that he did not get arrested for. No, yeah, it's just going to be about his life, which is an interesting life.
Mm-hmm.
And since we care about that sort of thing now, before it was like make with the tequila dance,
Yeah.
bow tie boy.
Yeah. Right.
Oh no, you're a human being. Well, you're canceled.
I know.
Speaking of canceling, Paul Rubens has got something to say about canceling.
Yeah.
But he's had a pretty interesting and amazing career, and it has connected to a lot of artists and is part of the LA art and comedy scene. And so I think that could be really interesting. I don't know what the Safdie brothers are doing producing it, but
They must
if
be
that's
a
what it takes to
fan.
get it made.
Yeah. Right. I mean, if the Safdie brothers are interested.
No,
What?
Paul, get out of there.
Oh, you think that they're gonna kill him?
What if it's just like 2 hours in the life of Paul Rubens? And he's like, I've got to get to this documentary. He's like,
Oh my
why does that
God.
guy have a gun? He's like running in a hallway, sodium vapor lighting flashing on his face.
Right.
So I got to get in this cab, and it's like, oh, the cab crashes. Oh,
Oh my God.
Oh my
Get on
God,
his
Glenn
bike.
Campbell.
Yeah. Right.
He's got to be some musical artist that's like, why is this
Sure.
guy in the movie?
I mean, that would be interesting.
And at the end, like, he's like, you never understood me, Cherry. Ah. And he jumps off the Golden Gate Bridge.
No, that's horrible. It's edgy.
Yeah. What's it called?
Dark. Pee-wee's Dark Dungeon of Despair.
It's a little on the nose.
Oh, that's what we're going for.
Hit the Flory.
Oh,
I don't know.
that's bad. Man, Pee-wee's Playhouse.
So,
Good times.
yeah. Cowboy Carls and Indians.
Wow.
Anyway, so look forward to that. Also, look forward to George R.R. Martin's Wildcard series moving from Peacock to Hulu. We talked about that already, didn't we?
I don't remember.
Anyway, it was going to be on Peacock. Now it's going to be on Hulu. This is a little different than Marvel putting like Hellstrom on Hulu. But Peacock, I feel like, yes, it's streaming TV, but it's streaming network TV, and Hulu is just cable modem cable.
Yeah, right.
Just read all that. You're not writing this down. You get what I mean?
I think
I feel like
get
this
what
is
you
a
mean.
downgrade.
I feel like it is too.
Yeah.
I feel like Hulu is a place where like shows like we don't know what to do with them. Like we don't want them to be on the premium.
Well, to be honest,
streaming.
if Paramount Plus, Peacock, all the streaming services connected to terrestrial broadcast, or I don't know, maybe it's satellite, I don't know, just broadcast network shows are just like, these are for the savvy senior citizens
Sure.
who can use an iPad.
Right.
Then it should be on Hulu because it's like, it's not a procedural, it might have procedural elements, but it's a superhero type show, right? It's like a world of superheroes.
Right.
So that is kind of a Hulu show.
I know.
It's just nobody's going to watch it.
I know. Probably more
How's
people would
Melissa
watch
Snodgrass
it.
going to afford horse feed?
I know.
Come on, you got to watch this show. So anyway, this has been in development for a while.
It is.
And
yeah.
I am kind of excited about it, but we'll keep people updated on it. Maybe one or two more stories before we close up shop here. It looks like Avatar has overtaken Avengers Endgame as the highest grossing movie of all time once again.
How did that happen?
China.
What? It was like just released in China recently?
Re-release.
Oh, re-released. Okay.
This isn't a big deal.
Why?
See, I don't think Disney really cares, but if Disney wanted to, they'd just re-release.
Re-release.
We're showing the second the theaters open back up in Pyongyang or wherever. I know that's not in China. You just we'll show Infinity War and Endgame back to back, and
Sure.
people will flood in. No problem.
Yeah. Are they just trying to generate buzz for the other?
I think they're trying to generate money.
Yeah.
I think
the
they
other
need,
films
I think they
coming
need
out.
cash.
I kind of wish James Cameron would give up the dream about Avatar. Like, I think, like, okay, it was cool, but I don't think people are really like chomping at the bit for more of it.
The thing is that there's 5 of them, and if each
Yeah.
one takes 4.5 years to post produce or whatever because it's 3D, yeah, he's not going to see number 5.
No.
But I think the idea is that so much of he's not just making a movie; he's making an industry. He's making he's perfecting this process, and he's got the patents on all the technology. So he absolutely wants to continue to regale you with the story of Blue Cat aliens.
I know.
But he also wants to get rich. Once it succeeds, everybody wants to do what he's doing, and then he can sell all that stuff. And by that time, the process should be refined so that maybe we can get one of these, less than 10 years a pop. That's what I think.
Okay, I just don't know how I feel about it. I mean, James Cameron, you have done so much in the entertainment industry. Your name will definitely be remembered. You don't have to do these Blue Cat movies, but you feel he's invested the time. He's going to go for it. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Don't litter.
Yeah.
James Cameron is running down a darkened sub bay.
Yeah.
Lights are flashing.
Uh-huh.
Just
You're redoing your
I'm trying to turn everything into a Safdie Brothers film. We cut to a cat cafe on the other side of the world.
Oh my god.
And the cats are looking at and we zoom into the can of tuna because now we're Gaspar Noé for some reason.
Oh my
I don't know,
gosh.
it's a good movie.
Wow.
It's a good movie. Speaking of movies that aren't movies, WandaVision is over. Thank God. As we know.
Whoa.
And Marvel is taking advantage of that by putting the Vision miniseries back into reprints.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes. They're also reprinting the original Mantlo and Englehart stories.
Of Vision and Scarlet
Actually, you
Witch?
know what? I don't think they're doing the Mantlo one. I think they're doing the Englehart because that was a little bit more, had the babies in it. It's a little more related to WandaVision.
I mean, that's smart because people are going to there's going to be some fans, not everybody,
And
right?
they're reprinting House of M issues.
Okay. All right. I mean, there'll definitely be fans who will be out there looking
Totally
for
confused.
it. Yeah, right. And going to
How
the
disappointed
internet
will
and be like, what the
WandaVision
heck is
fans be
this?
when they pick up some of these crazy-ass comics?
Yeah, well, I don't
The dog eats a flower and she kills the dog? What?
Yeah, I know.
You come back in for break, a guy's crying about a effing dog?
I mean, okay, like the
The
vision,
old case and bits.
the one where why can't I remember the name? We read it for the show.
The Vision?
The vision. I liked parts of it, but it's it's dark, maybe darker. I mean, WandaVision had dark parts in it, but I don't know that people would be like, it's not exactly the same tone, I don't think.
Thanks for reiterating your review
Mm-hmm.
from that episode, which people can listen to.
Yeah.
Go right back to listen to it. Yeah, I think that they're going to be freaked out by the Steve Englehart stuff, especially the tiny babies with adult musculature.
Yeah, that's weird.
And just
It's kind of terrifying.
man heads.
Yeah.
So we got a Renaissance artist to draw this comic who doesn't understand
Oh my God!
anatomy.
Your adorable babies.
The House of M
Oh.
stuff, sure. Oh,
Yeah.
look, her face is blocks like the show. But then, not only is that going to be confusing the entire Marvel universe, most of which is mutants, it's the House of M. So you don't know. I mean, maybe you've seen also the Fox X-Men films, but you don't know anything about that. And then also, this is really badly written. So
Oh,
got that to contend with.
okay.
Quicksilver is there, and he isn't just like a fake Quicksilver. He is the real Quicksilver. It's kind of all his fault. Mm-hmm. He's the villain of the piece.
Sure. I mean, that's fine.
No more tie-ins.
Oh, well, everybody's heard about the bird. Bird, bird, bird. The bird's a word. Oh, well, a bird, bird, bird. Bird is a word. Oh, well, a bird, bird, bird. Well, a bird is a word. Oh, well, a bird, bird, bird. The bird's a word. Oh, well, a bird, bird, bird. Well, a bird is a word. Oh, well, a bird, bird. The bird's a word. Oh, well, a bird.
So anyway, little Tom Holland is fired. You can go home, kid.
Yeah,
We don't
right.
need you. Even though you were in a movie with Chris Hemsworth before you were even in Spider-Man.
Yeah. How does that work?
Ron Howard's In the Heart of the Sea.
What? What was that?
He was one of the kids, I guess.
But
Who was in
what
the
is
sea.
that movie?
Whether he was in the sea or not, I don't know.
Okay.
It's like what if we Master and Commander, but they're fighting a whale? What if Moby Dick, but
Wow.
something else?
Okay, that's
Yeah.
weird. All right.
So, what if what if Apocalypse Now, but something else? It's Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah. You got it.
Which is based on The Short Timers, a novel by a guy named Gustav Hasford. It follows the novel fairly well, from what I understand. But the big difference is that the novel has 3 acts. This movie really only has 2. Mm-hmm. It is, boy, it's tough to learn to be a Marine. Wow, being a Marine
Yeah.
sucks.
Yep.
Movie's over. Whereas
Yeah,
the book
right,
has
right.
more of like like Rafter Man gets what's coming to him, and they tie up the things. But this is Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah, right. We don't want it all. tied up in a
Congratulations,
neat
Alex!
bow.
You will now be able to assault women in the snow forever, or whatever happens at the end of Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, I know.
What happened?
What happens? So there are a bunch of new recruits for the Vietnam War in the U.S. and they are getting their first basically set of orders and like getting an idea of what their life is going to be like in training from their drill sergeant, whose last name is his last name is Hartman. Call him Drill Sergeant Hartman, and he is a no-nonsense yelling man. He yells a lot, and he is...
Singing
We'll get
Happy
to
Birthday
it. Yeah.
to Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a kind man, but I think he's been taught that you be verbally, emotionally, and physically abusive to your recruits, and they'll respect you. And that's kind of what happens. And he basically gives a lot of them nicknames.
7.62 millimeters of respect.
Yeah. Right. He basically gives a bunch of the new recruits nicknames that stick, and you don't really actually remember their real names for the most part from the film because they're just going to be called their nicknames. And so we learn the guy who will become basically the protagonist is basically just called Joker, and there are a couple other characters in it. Gomer Pyle is kind of like the guy who he's not doing so great with training, and he just kind of is bad at it. He really shouldn't be here, but and basically the drill sergeant kind of like tortures Pyle, but like sees that Joker has potential and like makes Joker gives him kind of like a higher up position within the ranks. I can't remember what it's called. And
just the squad leader.
The squad leader, yeah. And basically is like, Pyle, you're gonna be reporting to him, and like Joker, you show him around, you show him what to do. And so Joker tries his best to like teach him how to do things, but he's just not getting it. And
what is your major malfunction, nuts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it seems like he's getting better. He does the shooting range, and he's doing really great at it. But you see, like there's
good.
there's some sort of
Did you know that the guy that shot the people in Texas and Lee Harvey Oswald, both,
yes.
Yeah. Where did they get that training? The Marine Corps.
Why are we celebrating that? I mean, it's murderers, but I think maybe that's part of Kubrick's point. But yeah, basically at one point the sergeant is like, whenever Pyle screws up, you guys are all gonna get punished, and he won't. So they decide to beat him up with some soap and some towels.
It's a blanket party.
It's terrible, and you see like a mental break, and I mean, I guess I'm just telling the whole thing, aren't I?
Well, no, this is like the first 20 minutes.
I know. But like he has some sort of mental break, and it's like, but he makes it, and like he's gonna go on. So you think, oh, okay, he's gonna be okay. No, Joker finds him in the bathroom like the last night that they're there, and he's got his rifle with him, and he puts in all of the bullets, and he's got a full metal jacket, if you will. And he starts yelling, and the sergeant comes in and is like, what the heck is going on? And Joker's like, okay, he's got a loaded gun. And the sergeant tries to talk him down, but then like Pyle shoots him and then shoots himself. That's the end of the first act. And then they go to Vietnam, and it's horrible. And Joker is like kind of like a gonzo journalist for the paper that it's done by the Marines, Stars and Stripes. And they kind of have to try to find their superior wants them to find, I guess, like good stories about the war. So we're not necessarily telling it truthfully. We're telling like heroics and like trying to find positive things in this war. And there's lots of things that happen. The Tet Offensive happens, which it's I think it's the Vietnamese New Year, and so they thought there would be a ceasefire, but then there a whole bunch of different bases get attacked.
Yeah. Did you learn about Vietnam in high school?
Not really.
Me neither.
No.
And my history teacher was in Vietnam in high school.
That's weird.
So, or not in high school. He was in Vietnam.
Yeah, right.
And well, he probably was in high school, but and so he would talk about. This isn't as cool as it sounds, but he would talk about things sometimes. We did have a chapter, like a unit on Vietnam, but a lot of these things, I got from movies or from China Beach.
Yeah, right.
CBS. No, but yeah.
Yeah, it's bad. And
the party time's over.
Party time's over, and it's I don't know. It just shows how horrible it is. Joker meets up with Cowboy, which is one of the guys he trained with, and they're super excited to see each other. And then him and this other guy, Rafterman, who is the photojournalist, they basically go along with them, and they have to do like they're approaching this area, and then they get attacked, and so then they have to kind of do like a sweep of the area to see if there are any Vietnamese soldiers there. And then they find a sniper who kills one of their guys, and then the other guy is like, I'm going to get him out of there. Well, he gets killed too, and basically a bunch of people get killed, and then they find out the sniper's a woman.
A sniper, eh?
Yeah.
Like Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yeah. Right.
Right.
Maybe she learned how to be a sniper in the Marines in Vietnam.
No, she didn't.
Yeah.
But that's kind of, a repudiation of
Yes.
of needing that sort of training.
It is.
And all his Hartman's talk about, America, God was here first, so you can give your heart to Jesus, but your ass belongs to the Corps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's I don't know, it's really heart-wrenching and horrible, and war is awful, war is hell. And Rafterman comes in and shoots the sniper when the Joker was basically in a corner, and Joker's like, I don't want to just leave her here. And so then he makes the horrible decision to shoot her out of mercy. And then they sing
Born to Kill.
Yeah. Born to Kill on his helmet, and then they sing the Mickey Mouse theme song.
Yeah, they
Clubhouse theme song.
certainly do.
Yeah.
The attack in the film on the base is supposed to be supposed to represent the battle of Hugh. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Which ended, or most hostilities ended, on March 2nd. So you give them 2 weeks to go up country.
Okay.
Pi Day.
You're trying so hard to make this work. Okay. All right.
All war films, not all war films, but most war films feature a naif, don't they?
I don't know what that word means.
It means a naive or ingenuous person.
Yes, I believe so. Somebody that's there, and you're like, why is this person here?
Right. And if they don't, then they're just an action movie. But we're talking about a war movie.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So you've got, you can have an ensemble like Saving Private Ryan, but like you've got Joker in this, you've got, this is one of the reasons that I like Apocalypse Now, is because it's different.
It is different.
Because Willard he's a hardened killer. He's already been through all this stuff.
Yeah.
And we meet him, unable to handle and understand his nature the way Kurtz does.
Well, and
then he becomes in that way as a man who is on the path to becoming a psychopath like Kurtz.
Yeah.
He is still below the final boss in terms of murderous accomplishment.
Sure.
Until he achieves that at the end.
Well, when we meet him at the beginning of that film, he's back.
It's his birthday.
Right? And like he's not in war.
Still in Saigon.
Is he not? He's still in Saigon? Okay. But he's in a hotel, and he's not like on a base somewhere, and he like can't deal with quote unquote, like society. Like he can't deal with like it seems like he's
check out Kurtz's compound.
Yeah.
They got a lot of stuff going on.
I know.
Scott Glenn doesn't get any lines in Kurtz's compound.
Yeah.
Talking about this movie. And so Joker is an interesting character because he is, I like the fact that we don't know anything about any of these people, but we can probably figure it out.
Yeah.
So, Pyle is, he's just some
Vincent
dope.
D'Onofrio.
He's just some dope.
Yeah.
All these guys were drafted.
Yeah. That I think is clear.
I don't know if there was a scene or they ever thought about this, but he never asked them, Hartman never asked them whether they enlisted or were drafted.
Why would he?
Because the enlisted men he would like that more than people that were just drafted. Because Joker was clearly,
he was clearly drafted.
I guess. So how did it work? If you were in college, could you get drafted out of college?
I don't know. That is a fantastic
But Joker
question.
is clearly, he's an intellectual, probably a peacenik. You know, he's
He's
probably
got
comes from a
peace button.
doing okay family.
Uh-huh.
You know, cowboys from Texas.
Yeah.
And with all that entails. And you got a character like Pyle. And so Joker is he's intelligent enough to, he probably hates what's going on, not just like I hate war, but also like I hate this authority bullshit and you're yelling at me.
That's clearly
but he's
what
smart enough to play the game.
Yeah.
And he plays it long enough until he gets what he wants, which is he gets a journalist position because he was in journalism in high school. And so he can write a paper, he can stay out of the war, he can do his John Wayne impression, and there's no real danger for him. But also he can criticize and stay on the outside. And when Jack's dad from Lost, his editor and commanding officer tells him, we're just making people feel good, that's all we're doing.
Right.
You know, we're not doing hard-hitting journalism. That would be easy for Joker to just do that and fulfill his role, but he's rebelling against even that. Like, he's like,
he can't
now
help
I've got
it.
the job I want. And he's like, oh, you think that the VC, oh, we didn't find any bodies. Oh, I'm sure they're, so he just doesn't fit in anywhere, or at least he doesn't want to.
No.
I love that scene where they go north and they find the place where the massacre supposedly happened. We don't know what happened, but supposedly the VC massacred what they thought were sympathizers. And there's just
it
like
was
this
a mass grave.
disgusting lime pit there.
Yeah.
And then the commanding officer of whoever is who's stationed there is like, what's going on, son? You got a peace button on your jacket, and your helmet says "Born to Kill." Does that make sense? And he's like, "Sir, no, sir." So what are you trying to do, sir? I think it's something about the duality of human nature. The union thing, sir. He's like, whose side are you on?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Listen, we got to get on board and win one for the Gipper. And he's just like this. He doesn't fit because he's thinking about what he's doing, and he was supposed to be trained to not think about it,
to be a killing machine.
And even this guy, this 58-year-old colonel that's yelling at him, has the same mindset. It isn't like he's like, all right, I get it, keep your nose clean, get out of here. He's like, what are you talking about? We're here to win.
Mm-hmm. Well, I just think that like his name really fits him.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, like because he
lives in a society.
Well, no, because he doesn't take anything seriously. Because he's like you were saying, like
right,
even like in his journalist,
he's a cynic.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, but even like in his journalist job, like, and he supposedly gets what he wants. He's like, he's questioning things.
It's one thing to be
challenging things.
Well, he's powerless.
Yeah,
and that's the only defense.
Yeah.
The cynicism is the only defense of the powerless.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a person who, even if he was going to say, like, it's horrible what we're doing, but at the same time, it's horrible what Ho Chi Minh's government has done to some of the people. And so there is value in what we're doing in some way, even though we're doing it in a horrible way. Mm-hmm. He's not even engaging in any of that. He is trying to stay
not really.
Cynically insulated from it all, with his cynicism. And of course, he is forced into a situation where he makes a horrible, brutal act, which is ironically done, out of mercy, as you said before.
Yeah.
But then at that point, it doesn't matter. It's just, the leader of the club that's made for you and me. There's just nothing to argue at that point.
No.
At the end, this opens. It's not like and like napalm and stuff like that. Kubrick has a very. Kubrick could blow things up, I suppose.
Yeah.
He would have had to to get Napoleon done. But like, I like the fact that it's a very Kubrickian thing. He just opens with all the major characters, or at least all the characters we'll see for the next half an hour, having their heads shaved.
Yeah.
All the real actors are just getting their heads shaved, and we're meeting all the characters in this very mundane sort of way. I'm sure they just hired some local barber and just
probably
zip them right down.
Yep.
We got one take. Oh, I'll get it right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and then like the guys looked kind of uncomfortable getting their hair shaved and everything, and it seemed like
and I bet that and it must have really, really grilled Kubrick's kippers. That's a new statement or expression I came up with.
Oh, okay.
That they could only do one take.
Oh,
yeah. I bet he asked somebody, "How long does hair take to grow?" like his assistant director or something.
God.
It's like, Stanley, come on. The fact that he could only have one take, I bet he hated that. But I bet he told everybody and he expressed to them, don't act. You're all going to try to I know who my character is, and you're going to see it in my eyes as I'm getting my head shaved. Don't just get your head shaved. This guy's going to grab your head roughly and shave it, with no, not so much as a thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
And just let that happen.
Yep. Yep. Was the second part of the film filmed first?
There's a lot of stories about this film.
I'm sure.
In fact, I can't believe there isn't a Hearts of Darkness style documentary. I mean, it would be a different tone, obviously. But there are a lot of stories about this because all the actors who were in it have ate out on these stories for their entire careers.
I can believe it.
And so you can go on YouTube. This is a guy I feel like we've talked about either in our personal lives or on the show, but the guy that played the door gunner was originally cast as Hartman, but I can't remember what happened.
The guy on the helicopter who's just shooting people.
Yeah, it just wasn't working out. He was in the service, and he's an actor still today, but he has a lot of stories because he was part of. They were all boot camped like they do now in these war movies, and it's this Kubrick film, so you're going to be shooting for 18 months or whatever. So he had been there for a long time, and then he was replaced, I think, by Arlie Ermy later, who even he has to go, well, watch the movie. Like that guy's a star.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Like he did. Arlie Ermy ad-libbed like all that stuff. Because he had done that.
Yeah.
He had been a drill instructor.
Yeah.
And so he just understood exactly what that needed to be. And the kind of brutality wouldn't have come out. But also the point, there is no thing like there is in Band of Brothers where David Schwimmer beats the crap out of them. And they're like, what's the deal with this guy? And later on they see David Schwimmer and they're like, I don't think they get along with him, but they're like, I understand now why he did that. The first time, I was in a foxhole and a bullet went over my head. I knew exactly what to do because David Schwimmer yelled at us.
Yeah, right. I know, right?
But
weird.
But this is presented a little different. But you understand. I don't agree, but I understand why he did it. He was teaching them not to question because there is no time for Joker's
question.
philosophy and John Donne in combat. He taught them to reply and to obey.
Yeah.
So they would be ready when the time came and they could take the orders. Mm-hmm. But there are some things like, choke yourself. It's like, no, put your neck in my hand.
There's a lot of things that I'm just like, oh my God. Like, there's a lot of...
I bet you can't hit anybody today.
I would hope not.
I'd hope so too.
I really hope that that's not a thing that can be done anymore.
I don't know what it takes. I'm sure you can't. It's a joke that Klinger wears dresses because he's trying to get a Section 8. But I don't know what it takes for you to clearly
get a Section
don't
8.
send. Yes, you want these people. Your job is to mold them into fighting men that eat their own guts and ask for seconds. But you can't send this guy to war.
Seriously,
Pyle, right?
Yeah,
you can't. He's not even going to be good once there's no point in sending him.
No.
But I get why he was so, because he's like laughing. Because
it's a ridiculous situation.
It is ridiculous, yeah. But
and I understand that.
But I understand why he started punching him, because it's like because it's real at that point. It's like, I'm not messing around. This isn't a joke. I know you're laughing because you're nervous, but that's not going to help you in Vietnam. You need to realize that this is real.
I know, but it's just like I know this is part of Kubrick's point, and also maybe also how the military is done, but it's just it just made me realize think why is this acceptable in the United States for this kind of brutality from a drill sergeant? Why is it okay for a drill sergeant to be, even if let's say you can't hit somebody anymore, let's take the physical abuse out of it, but to be verbally and emotionally abusive, is it because and is this maybe a military thing across the globe? Do we just associate this harshness with discipline? Do we think, oh, this is good for you? This is how you're going to learn if I'm tough? I mean, he says stuff like, I'm tough but fair. I don't think you're fair.
I'm tough but fair.
Yeah, I mean, you have ridiculous things, and Joker said that he doesn't believe in the Virgin Mary, and you get mad at him, and he's smart enough to be like, I don't think if I change my answer,
sir,
yeah.
If I change my answer, I'll be punished worse, sir.
Yeah.
But then right after that, he's like, "You're in charge now."
I know,
because clearly
you get it.
This is an act, and it is kind of funny in a way, even though I'm brutalizing you. And through this process, I've learned that you are able to take orders, but you also understand that orders change and they're fungible, and you should have a leadership role. Well, that's only the first part of the movie. Let's talk about the second part of the movie.
I know.
Yeah, let's talk about... So, once again, could be spectacle. There could be cool war stuff. I wouldn't call the scenes in, say, Apocalypse Now, beat for beat action scenes, but there is definitely spectacle.
Yeah.
But there really isn't that in this. People just die, and you don't know how they died.
Yeah.
And then the big finale is just a whole like platoon of guys just trying to kill one person in a burned out factory.
Who turns out to be
and they'll just keep going into the trap and just getting shot. It's not funny, but it is absurd.
It's absurd
in the way that a lot of Kubrick's films are. In that, what are we gonna do? We got to go in there. Another shot. 8-Ball like, oh my god!
I know, it was horrible. And like Cowboy is like, I order you. You cannot go in. And nobody's listening to him.
Right.
He got put in charge.
So what was it all for?
Yeah.
Why did Hartman yell at him all that much?
Well, I think that's kind of Kubrick's point, right? Like you die
probably
senselessly.
In a way.
You know, it doesn't matter. Your death is not meaningful. It's
But they have
stupid.
to be there because every slang term for a Vietnamese person inside of them is an American trying to get out.
Well, that's okay. Pretty much every character in this, maybe not every single one, but a vast majority of them is at least somewhat racist and says some sort of racist comment, largely towards the Vietnamese. And it's pretty terrible, but I imagine that it was pretty common in the Vietnam War to be that way.
It's common in war today.
Yeah. I don't like it. I mean, I know maybe it's I don't like it. I mean, maybe it's
I don't want it.
Maybe it's common and it's just it's a way of basically dehumanizing your enemy.
You know how
making it
the best
easier.
way to dehumanize somebody? Kill them.
I know.
They won't be alive or a human anymore.
I know. So it's I don't know. They call them a lot of derogatory names, and it's just. And then they say stuff like, somebody said, I don't remember who, like, we're only here to help them, and, like, they don't seem to care or want our help. It's like, yeah, you think? I mean, do you think, I mean, this is, like, a big question. Like, should the U.S. have gotten involved in the Vietnam War?
No, hell no. Absolutely not.
Why do you think that we did? Because it was like kind of like an extension of the Cold War and like boo communism and basically.
I'm sorry, did you say boo communism?
I did. I did.
Oh, you trying to scare communism?
Yes.
It's is it the Monroe Doctrine? I can't remember. I think so. It's just the United States policy of like getting involved for its own self-interest, right? So we thought that there would be a cascading effect of governments, fall into communism and then other governments. And, I mean, you could argue that was true. At that time, there was no debate over whether communism is evil or not. It just was evil because we already had a major adversary in the USSR.
Right.
Which, if you watch like Patton,
another film on my list.
Oh, you haven't seen Patton? Mm-mm. I think you must have seen Patton at some point and forgot.
No, I don't think so. I would have remembered.
Here's a question for you. Would a officer have pearl-handled grips on his revolvers or ivory? Which one would a New Orleans pimp have? Okay, maybe you haven't seen Patton.
I don't freaking know the answer.
But anyway,
to that.
Patton wins this war, and at the end of the movie, which is pretty long, it's good, but it's long. Mm-hmm. In the 8th act, they are celebrating having won, and they are celebrating with the Russians. He is Third Army, and the Russian Army meet up, and they have like a dinner, and the whole thing is very tense. And Patton is almost like ready to like pull his ivory handled, by the way, pistol and shoot this guy. And you realize like, oh, this is how the Cold War started. It's because men like Patton couldn't see past, the kind of training they got in the army, and they just saw everybody as an enemy. Mm-hmm. You could argue whether or not the leadership in the USSR knew what was right and wrong, but what if we had like reached out to them and been real friends with them instead of immediately thinking,
being antagonistic. All
right, we've won the war and then we're going to split up all the spoils, but we want more spoils than the rest of them. And of course that led to, the Berlin Wall and all that stuff. So So yeah, like that's not even really on the table as far as this thing goes, but it's just like this
No.
war kind of begets itself kind of thing.
Well,
When it-
I was reading that, like, I guess it.
In fact, Hartman
technically-
has a speech like that because his speech is like, we're supposed to get in these wars and we're going to get in all the wars that we have to until we've won them all and then we'll have peace.
which is ridiculous, but
Yeah.
yeah, I was reading on Wikipedia because I don't know that much about the Vietnam War that it actually
It
technically
had great
started,
music. I know that.
Yeah, I know, right? That it actually technically started in like 1955 and
Technically.
went for like
That's why
about
Tony Stark
20
was able to
years.
be wounded in Vietnam in 1963 before American troops were even like officially there.
that's insane to me. It is insane to me.
Well, I blame the French. That's why I blame.
Oh, okay. All right. Moving on.
Yeah. But yeah, so I love these scenes, and like we said, they're not as flashy as maybe other war movies, but I love the way that Kubrick in this case, finds. I love what he chooses to focus on, and I love the contrast between. And there's kind of there are 3 acts in the movies. The beginning of the second act when Joker and all the journalism guys and all the base guys are all bragging about all their experience,
Sure.
being in the shit. When in reality they're just a bunch of, remps,
Yeah, right.
rear echelon mother effers. None of them know what they're talking about. And then you contrast that to after they get out there and he meets up with Cowboy and his unit, and everybody's just thousands of yards of stairs, and they're chilling with a dead VC guy. It's like, it's my best friend. It's his birthday. This party's for him.
I was so beyond
Yeah.
like messed up.
Yeah.
I was like, what the heck? What is the name of Baldwin's character again? It's something like
Animal Mother.
Animal Mother. Yeah. He's
When under
He's
fire,
crazy.
Animal Mother's the best human being of all time. He just needs somebody to chuck grenades at him for the rest of his life.
I know. I was like, great. He's going to be super well adjusted when he has to go back.
Well, the actor didn't turn out so great, but yeah.
According to TVtropes.com, this is the only major Vietnam War film that focuses on urban warfare and not warfare in the jungle.
Is that still true? I don't know when that TV trope was written.
I don't know. What are some other
There are a lot of, well, I think Gulf War took it over. There are a lot of
Sure.
Gulf War movies about
that
urban fighting.
are in urban fighting. Yeah. I could definitely see that.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this too, that when in a communist country, or at least it could be any country, but in this specific country, there are like these, there's big factories, there's big, maybe government buildings with the kind of murals and art that you'd see in a communist sort of society, but there's no infrastructure because they had a bunch of money and the people in charge probably went, we need to have a factory right here with great leader's face on it.
Sure.
And so they probably spent a lot of money and built it. But they don't have the Starbuckses, the Targets, the Kohl's.
No.
They don't have all the things that sort of fill in the gaps in between government buildings and metrodomes and in our society. And so they're just on a dirt road, and then there's just like a big building in the middle of nowhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And clearly those points are going to be like points to hold.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. Where did they actually film this? Do you know?
I don't.
Okay.
I didn't do any research
Okay.
on purpose.
Okay.
Probably,
I would be interested to know that. That's
Probably
kind
not Vietnam, I'm guessing.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, I guess maybe there's a lot of sexualizing of the Vietnamese women in this. Of course, like I think the only women that we see in this film are Vietnamese prostitutes
And Sniper.
and the sniper. You're right. Yeah. So not a great look.
Well, it's not. First of all, when has Kubrick ever done women well?
That's fair.
And I mean, secondly, there's no women. It's not a woman's story.
No,
I'm not saying it's not for women. I'm just saying there's no women in it.
No, they're right. No, I know what
But
you
the
mean.
twist, it was a teenage girl
Yeah,
just cutting us up.
Sniper, all along. there's a lot of fat shaming of Kyle at the
Which
first
part of TV tropes were you on when you were reading about this? Yeah.
No. That was my thoughts.
Yeah, there is.
It's just a lot, and I think I'm noticing it more now because it's something that I'm trying to be more sensitive about myself, and I think it's something that was just. I think that society in general tries to be a little bit more sensitive about that sort of thing. Like, I think before, even like growing up in the 90s, I know this was filmed in the 80s, just call people fat and there are fat jokes here, fat jokes there. And I just...
But it's not about getting humor out of the fact that he's overweight.
No, that's true.
We're not supposed to laugh at what Arlie Ermy says.
Yeah.
You know, it's the fact that, like, if this guy can't climb over a wall, we're just sending him to die in Vietnam.
Yeah, he can somehow sneak a jelly donut into his Foot Locker that he doesn't lock. I mean,
just locked it.
I guess we're lucky that Hartman didn't just totally shove it completely in his face. Like, he only slightly
it's not really
does.
The most important scene in the film.
No, it's not. It's not.
I get your point.
Yeah.
Does this film, did it start the whole thing with 60s music and Vietnam? Because it's got some pretty solid.
Now come out?
79.
Okay.
Well, that was The Doors, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's true. It's 8 years later. Still, there's some pretty solid needle drops in this. And the biggest needle drop of all time, the Rolling Stones.
Yes.
With Painted Black.
Yeah.
For your credits.
Yes. Are we going to do our tropes thing at the end again?
I guess we're at the end. Go for it.
Cuz I was going to talk about that. I like ironic use of music with like the Mickey Mouse March, but then also the dissonance. You know, like there's kind of like a lot of happy or upbeat songs and stuff is maybe not necessarily happy that's going on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this could be the trope originator though of.
Oh, yeah. I think Kubrick likes to do that stuff a lot.
I mean, like, Me Love You Long Time is, I'm sure, something that actual GIs heard. I was
wondering if that came from this movie.
I don't know if it got to the public until Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, I remember hearing stuff like that, like when I was a kid. Like that's weird, you know. It's weird.
Well, so is your Shagadelic Baby, but that's okay.
Yeah, why is that? Because one is broken English and one is somebody who's a prostitute.
Through broken teeth English.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So I guess I read that the Kubrick was the voice on the end of the radio when they're calling for the tank.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So that was his
director cameo.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't really do director cameos, but
no, he doesn't really. Hypocritical humor, like Sergeant Hartman is like, you know, like saying like there's no place for racism here.
Yes.
And then he says a whole bunch of racist stuff.
All sorts of ethnic slur will not be prejudiced.
It's like, oh my god. But I mean, I get what Kubrick's doing, you know. So just the sociopathic Marine. We've got that, like, I feel like in spades, you know?
Every character?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Is Joker the most well-adjusted character in this?
Well, he's the only character who seems to be asking questions about what's going on and thinking about people other than himself. Even Rafterman,
yes, I was just going to say,
is scared for himself, but then he's, you know, becomes obsessed with the idea, or more obsessed with the idea of being seen as tough and a hero and being in the shit. And then he achieves, you know, a sort of a victory in a military sense at the end. And so you get the idea that we're never going He'll never shut up about this.
No. And
He'll tell this story until he dies,
let me ask you this.
which in the book is very soon,
Yeah, okay.
but not in the movie.
Well, let me ask you this. Like, why is, like, what Rafterman does seen as heroic and, like, what Joker does seen as sadistic?
Hardcore.
Yeah.
Effing hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because to me, it reads as like I'm putting her out of her misery. Like she's she's praying, she's in pain.
Right. But it also kind of avoids the trope of like total sadism in war, because these guys, you know, they're weird, they're somewhat sociopathic, but they're just kind of trying to do what they see as their job, and then they meet like the greatest Vietnamese teenage sniper of all time, and they're all really freaked out about it. Until they get her, and they're like, "Okay, it's done." And Animal Mother's like, "She could just die. I don't care."
Yeah.
But Joker's like, "We can't." And he shoots her, and everybody's like, "Whoa!"
I know.
And it's kind of like the what's appropriate for which moment in war. What's the etiquette of war?
Is there
You know,
etiquette?
and like this, it's over. Like that, you know, she's combat ineffective at this point. So
Yeah.
doing further violence to her, which you would see in a lot of other movies.
Yes.
You know, they do the whole village in a lot of other movies, but they're all just like, all right, job's done here. You know, we got 2 bodies to bury basically, so let's just get out of
3.
here. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
What about the trope of the mean drill sergeant?
Yes.
Is
Yes.
it's another thing that maybe didn't originate it, but I think now people think of R. Lee Ermey when they think about a guy in a flat hat yelling at people.
Yeah, calling them ladies. I mean, that's something else it's just overflowing with toxic masculinity. I mean, I don't know if that's really a trope or not, but like just like
In war movies?
in war movies, like you got to be tough, you got to be a man, you got to
It's a dialect.
dirty and
Yeah.
you know, and like, well, even like when Cowboy, I mean, spoilers for a movie that's been out for 30 plus years, but even when Cowboy is dying, he's basically like, I can make it, I can push through, I'm tough enough, and it's like,
Yeah, you're gonna make it, man. You're my favorite turd.
yeah, right. And it's like, dude, you got shot. It's not your fault. You just we were up against this really great sniper, and
Yeah, in World War II movies, people die, crying for mama, or saying like, you gotta get it, you gotta get there, do it. And in
Right.
Vietnam movies, people just die. An explosion goes off.
Yes.
and the top kick just falls over, and you're like, okay, I guess that was shrapnel.
Do you think maybe part of it is because we felt like, okay, World War II, we're fighting the Nazis. Everybody, they're everybody's bad guy. We're fighting against this pure evil, and so we're all heroes. But like Vietnam, like we're fighting a war that maybe we shouldn't even be here, and so everything is senseless. So I die, and my death is meaningless.
Right.
It's depressing.
You got it.
Okay.
It's like food. It's like types of. There's Chinese food. There's, I'm not going to name a bunch of food, but like.
Oh, why not?
So like these different, movies set in different eras have
There's different flavors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
sure.
I always find it interesting when they swap those around. One of the reasons that Paths of Glory is one of my favorite films is that it's.
I don't think I've seen that.
You absolutely have. I'm sure you too. Great. Anyway, is that it's set in World War I, which was, people had spikes on their helmets, and there's a lot of pageantry, and there were still horses. The last battle or war fought with horses,
Oh, maybe
But
who's in that?
It's Kirk Douglas.
Yes,
But
I have
it's
seen
real down and dirty, even for the 50s. Don't judge me. Let's say the late 40s when it was made. Yeah, I like that. So, like, I don't know. Is there a fun Vietnam movie? Probably not. Oh, Good Morning Vietnam.
that. Yeah, which I also haven't seen. Apparently, I have a lot of Vietnam movies on my list. I didn't realize that.
Is it a Good Morning Vietnam? Which came out in 1987. So
Same year as this one. Full Metal Jacket.
The trope I want to know is, I'm sure that American GIs listen to rock and roll in
Sure.
Vietnam. They have in all wars.
Sure.
But when did the trope, the awareness of like, oh, we got to play some Martha and the Vandellas
I know.
or some bread. No, that was later.
Bread?
That was later. And we just associate with that. Okay, all right. Oh, Vietnam show, great. What are the songs going to be?
Yeah.
What songs are you going to do?
Why is
Can't do the
that?
Doors. Overdone.
Is it because like the 60s and the 70s are known for like great rock and roll music or something like that?
I don't know. Maybe because when you think about it, Vietnam you go to Vietnam, it's hot.
Yeah.
It's the jungle.
Yes.
And it's bright sometimes.
There's a
Maybe
lot
it's
of
dark
sun.
if you're in the jungle.
Sure.
And it's just like Earth. Do you know what I mean? But like the period of the time and like weed and LSD, it's got to be this like.
It's got to be super intense.
Yeah, and like psychedelic. Whoa, I don't know. This is so disorienting. And we've already got drugs from this era that are also disorienting. So we just put them together, and you've got like that's a destination. That is a place.
Yeah.
That genre of movie that you can go to.
Yeah.
But then you've got Platoon, which has got some rock in it, but like the climactic scene is
I think I've seen Platoon.
Barber's Adagio. It's like a classical piece.
Huh. Yeah, I think that's on my list too. A lot of war and depressing films on my list. I don't know, man.
You got to just blow through all the Vietnam movies.
I guess. I think maybe part of why I have so many of these depressing, dark films, violent films on my list is I used to avoid violent
Yeah,
films.
you didn't see them.
Because they used to make me feel physically ill. And I somehow got over that. And I was able to watch them in a more detached way. So now I'm like, definitely I want to seek it out because I feel like it has value and I want to see what it has to say.
In Vietnam, the wind doesn't blow. It sucks. That's on the poster for Full Metal Jacket. What?
What? I'm sorry. That just reminds me of the game Suck and Blow that like was on Clueless.
We got to get these guys to the table. We'll have a mixer. We'll do egg and spoon. And once everybody's loosened up, we'll start talking peace.
Yeah.
This isn't Kubrick's first war movie by a long shot. Mm-hmm. His movie Dr. Strangelove, which is about the Cold War, or World War III, is very funny. And he always does like to look for the absurdity. He's just leaning a little more into the dark emotions this time.
Yeah.
No Slim Pickens in this one.
No, and I mean Joker's helmet says "Born to Kill" and there's a bullseye on it, which is, that's dark humor. Yeah. I mean, a lot of them have like weird things that they've decided to put on their helmets, which I don't know. Is that something that like they would actually allow Marines to do?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure because I was like, would they get in trouble for doing that or not? And then
once you're, in the middle of the jungle or you're
who cares?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, who can stop you?
Yeah. I didn't realize that like so one of the characters who gets killed, his name is 8-Ball, and I didn't realize that he's 8-Ball like 8-Ball from Billiards. I thought he was like 8-Ball like a magic 8-Ball.
Or drugs.
Oh, I didn't even think about that connotation. Why are there so many different connotations for 8-Ball? Is it just fun to say?
Good question.
That's
Good question.
weird. No, I didn't even think about that one. But I
It's not a film that deals with the psychology of the Vietnamese at all. Really looking at it from the American side, but
No.
I did like the flashes that we get of Vietnamese people, humanizing flashes, even as they're doing things that are,
negotiating
illegal or
sex.
bad or whatever. Yeah, but like the guys that steal his camera,
Yeah.
like they're not, they don't know kung fu or whatever, but they're just sort of like, using
intimidating factors or whatever.
They're just acting tough, and they're like, I got karate, and Joker's like, whoa, those guys got karate. They probably don't know karate.
Probably
but
not.
you're ignorant.
But you're just
and then
gonna
later
let him
on,
go.
when the guy, when the pimp comes up with the sex worker, and she's like, no, soul brother, too big. And basically, like, you didn't know that any of these guys were necessarily going to take her services at this point. They're all just kind of like playing this, oh, okay, oh, yeah, no, not 15, 5. It's like, oh, no, not 5.
Yeah.
And they're just playing around. But they basically, like, get a guaranteed sale from him because he's like, no, it isn't too much meat. And he shows her his dick. And she's basically like, fine. Which is like one way of saying that you have a small dick. Do you know what I mean?
I know. And
she
like,
kind of like makes him like emasculate himself in a way.
Is he saying that? No, I have a small dick? Or is like her reaction like, you have a small dick?
No, it's not like, she's not like laughing.
No.
He's just like, if he had just kept his dick in his pants and they had just told this guy to go on his way, everybody could continue to buy the myth that he's got a big dick.
Right.
But she's like, no way. And then he takes his dick out. She's like, oh, fine. Like, that's like, do you know what I mean? And I wish it was in the movie and it's not. But like the way to close that scene off is, they're talking about going down to 5. But if he's just like, I don't know, 15 for you. And he's like, oh, get the full price out of him just so he can maintain the fiction that he's like got a big, it's a way of like exploiting him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's basically a tourist who's here to kill people.
Yes. Yeah. Well, very true.
Just like Joker and Rafterman, who are just taking random pictures. They're like not working on a story or anything. They're just hanging out at a sidewalk cafe.
Doing?
Yeah.
And then I know. And then we see them on the helicopter with the guy just shooting at people working in the fields.
Yeah.
And Rafterman's practically throwing up.
If they run, they're VC. If they stand still, they're disciplined VC.
Oh my God. It's so freaking horrible. And then the joke that they say when they're the journalists where they're in the racist joke that they say about the black guys are like, it's so bad. It's so bad. Like how do you get 5?
We don't have to. If it's so bad, we don't have to tell the joke.
No. Okay. Well, it's like a rape joke with like black.
It's a rape joke and a racist joke at the same time.
It's awful.
It is awful.
It's awful.
It's solidly constructed, but it's awful.
Yeah. And I don't like it.
Yeah. Well, this is War is Hell.
War is hell, and I think that this movie proves it and ends it by
better or worse than Apocalypse Now.
Singing
right now.
Mickey Mouse.
Tell me.
They're so different.
They are.
I don't know how I want to answer that.
I'll tell you.
Because I don't really know that I...
So we're not going to get an answer. Okay.
What do you think?
I like Kubrick as a filmmaker better than Coppola, but
Yeah.
I like Apocalypse Now better than this. And I understand that Apocalypse Now is like the edgier choice. But and like he almost killed himself. Martin Sheen had a heart attack on that movie. But they're both kind of road movies. They're both collections of stories.
Yes.
But Apocalypse Now has a better structure.
I would agree with
In a lot of
that.
ways, Full Metal Jacket feels just like a bunch of segments kind of put together.
Well, it feels like you
including
said...
like, let's just stop in the middle and everybody talks to the camera, but it's, the conceit is they're being interviewed by press or whatever. And I like things in both of them, but I do. And also, they're both based on books, and one is based on a much better book than the other one. I mean, I haven't read The Short Timers, but I mean, Heart of Darkness is a better book, right?
Heart of Darkness is a good book.
Yeah, it takes that. I was going to say ancient's not the right word. It takes that older theme of colonialism and recasts it in the modern conflict of Vietnam, which is still kind of like colonialism.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like we need them to get rubber, but we need them to not do communism and also buy our products. And so
we're going to come in and fix everything.
Yeah. Whereas Full Metal Jacket's more just like, doesn't this suck? It's like, yeah, it does.
Yeah, right. It's maybe the film itself isn't saying as much. Maybe it's just saying war is hell, and that's all we're supposed to get from it. But like I think you were saying before, like off the air, it's basically like 2 films in one. Full Metal Jacket is like like the 2 different acts are very different from each other.
Yeah.
Whereas like Apocalypse Now, even though like it is like a road movie, it does feel maybe a little bit more cohesive, with characters dying along the way and horrible things happening along the way. I don't think that I would go to either one of them, like, if I was bored, though, because they're so dark. You know what I mean? You have to be in the right mood to watch them, I think.
You do.
So,
You do.
But I would recommend this film, though, if you haven't seen it. Full Metal Jacket is the ammo that you put in your gun is called the Full Metal Jacket. I didn't know that before watching this movie.
No,
Well, it's a specific kind of.
it's a type of bullet.
It's a type of bullet. Yeah.
That's used often in military
Yeah.
weapons.
Yeah.
But what does it mean?
I don't know.
The jacket is the metal is the coldness that we put around our hearts when we decide to kill. What do you think so far?
Sure. Yes.
What do you think so? What if every song went 10 seconds and the singer stopped and went, "Should I go on?" That's kind of what that was.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
The comedian starts telling a joke. He's like, guy walks into a bar. How's everything going so far? Want more?
good. You're good.
Nowhere to run to, baby. Nowhere to hide. Got nowhere to run.
We're done. Thanks for joining us. Sorry, Holland fans, we weren't able to get to you tonight, but maybe in the future. We'll see what happens. Be in a good movie, and then we'll decide. Tom Holland movie should start off. You guys like this? Everything good so far? And then we'll see where it goes. Maybe just stop that movie. Follow us on social medias, the Facebooks, the Twitters, the Instagrams, and subscribe to our show on your listening platform of choice. Would you do that?
Please.
And give us a rating and review while you're there. More and more, I'm thinking less and less we should bother talking about that.
Why?
Because I don't think the currency of reviews, it matters to the end user as much as it used to.
Okay.
You know? I think of all the things that I enjoy and the many podcasts I listen to, I've never left a review for any of them. If I have, it was because they were my friends' podcasts and they needed my support.
Yeah.
So I guess if you want to support us, we could use that.
Yes,
but
absolutely.
I don't think people care as much about that anymore.
No.
Well, we'll see. Prove us wrong
yes.
by leaving us a nice review. Give us 5 helmets with contradictory statements about war on them
Yes.
so we can get out there and get yelled at by a commanding officer. No, just give us 5 stars, which
Yeah.
would make us a 5-star general. We'd appreciate that. We'll be back next week to talk about something else, and until then, we're signing off. I'm your host, Caliban.
I'm your co-host, Mika Hana.
Keep the geek fires burning.